All right, good evening, everyone. We're going to get started in just a minute. So grab any props if you have them. And let's get cozy and let's get comfy in our bodies tonight. So we're going to get started on our back. So just setting up like we've set up for Shavasana, tucking the tailbone underneath, setting the torso down, maybe scooping the shoulders underneath, really grounding down through the back body, extending the legs, setting the feet about hip distance or wider. You can let the arms spread out onto the floor next to you. You can place the palms facing up. And just take a breath in through the nose, filling all the way to the belly button, all the way into the chest. And slow control exhale. Continue to breathe deeply into the belly, softening the eyes, softening the mind, taking stock of any areas of tightness or tension. Maybe sending a little bit of love to those spots over the next few breaths. And as the body starts to settle in, give yourself permission to relax over this next hour. Your one job is to breathe. All of these postures are completely optional. If they don't work for you, you can always come right back here and come back to the breath whenever you need. Our goal for tonight is to just try easy. We're not going to force anything. We're not here to push or to pull. We're here to soften. I invite you now to set an intention for your practice, asking yourself what you need. Maybe you need some calm. Maybe you need some strength. Maybe you need some joy. Whatever it is, invite it in with each inhale and release it out with each exhale. Allowing this energy to freely flow into the body and back out into the universe to come back when it's ready. One last chance to scan the body in this posture. Just taking note of any areas you want to send a breath or two to. Gently begin to rock the head side to side, like shaking the head no. Slowly loosening up the top of the spine and the shoulders. Maybe pausing the head in center, wiggling the fingers and the toes, gently inviting movement back into the body. You can lift the hands towards the sky and roll the wrists in one direction, maybe making fists with the hands. And then switching to the other direction, just loosening up the forearms. And then drawing the knees into the chest, Wrapping the arms around the legs if possible, giving yourself a nice good squeeze. Really grounding down through the back body. And then rolling onto one side, taking a fetal pose. So shifting from our corpse to our fetal, making a pillow with the arm, keeping the eyes soft, and setting aside any last worries or stress. Leave it here. And join me in a comfortable seat when you're ready at the top of the mat. Take a second to get organized. If you have a prop, maybe slipping it underneath the hips. Rolling the shoulders back and down, lengthening through the spine, all the way up to the crown of the head. Maybe closing the eyes and coming back to your intention, breathing it into each vertebrae. We're going to take some neck rolls. So gently drop the chin towards the chest. Taking a second to pause. And then mindfully transitioning the right ear to the right shoulder. Opening the left side of the neck. Breathing in, keeping those shoulders back and down. Gently roll the chin back towards the center. And then left ear to left shoulder this time. Opening up that right side. Slowly back to center. And then right ear, right shoulder once again. If you need more, maybe releasing the left hand down towards the mat and crawling those left fingertips out slightly. Just further expanding that stretch down the arm. Hand back to knee if you shifted, and then chin to chest on your exhale. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. And maybe toying with expanding by reaching the right fingertips down to the mat. Being very delicate with our necks, mindful in our movements. Right hand back to knee, gently drop the chin back towards chest. And then 3 rounds of just sweeping movement from left to right in time with your own breath, pausing in any areas of tightness or tenderness. Your next time through center, pause and gently lift the head back up. Roll the shoulders back and down, and then draw the shoulders up to the ears, and then shift the shoulders all the way back, and then all the way down, and then forward, slowly beginning to create circles with the shoulders, exploring this joint and upper back. Doing your best to keep that spine nice and straight. 3 more. Last round. Your next time at the top, pause, shift the shoulders forward, down, back, and up, linking this movement together and switching the direction of these shoulder rolls. Maybe closing the eyes and feeling your way into the body. One more round. Your next time at the top, draw the ears all the way up, scrunch the hands tightly into fists. Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale, release the hands and the arms. We're going to bring our left palm onto the thigh and crawl our right fingertips out to the side, planting the right hand down, maybe using a block if the ground seems far, and then sweeping the left arm up and over, getting into that side body a little bit here. You can shift the gaze down towards the palm or up towards the sky, whatever feels most comfortable to the neck. Coming back to the breath. Engaging the core, belly button to spine. Lift the right arm back up. Set the left hand down. Crawl out those left fingertips. And once you find a depth, extend that right arm back down and scoop it all the way up. And then sink in to the right side body. One more big inhale here. Complete exhale. Engage the belly button in towards the spine and lift the torso back up, extending the arms long up to the sky, reaching out through the side body, and then setting the hands back and down, setting the feet mat distance apart, windshield wiper the knees from side to side. From here, we're going to cross the legs again, this time awkward leg in front. So just switching the direction of that seat, taking a second to get organized, lengthening out, drawing the shoulders back and down, taking a breath. We're going to take a few rounds of seated cat-cow, just really grounding the palms into the thighs or the knees. We're going to inhale, shining the heart and the chest forward. Exhale, rounding out the back body, leaning back. And then in time with your breath, just gently coming forward on the inhale and hollowing out on the exhale. Inviting a bit of movement into the spine and the hips. Three more rounds. Last round, inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Then gently return to a neutral spine. We're going to take a second to spend some time with our wrists and our forearms. So just gently making fists and rolling the wrists in one direction and then the other. We're going to extend the arms all the way out and flashlight the fingers for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll those wrists out once again, and then we're going to extend the right palm out in front, really like making a stop sign with the hand, and then reaching around with the left hand, drawing those right fingers back, getting into the arms and the wrists, dropping the shoulders back and down. 3 more breaths here. Gently shift the fingers down and draw the palm towards the body, gently pressing onto the back of the right hand. Release the hand, roll out the wrists. And then left hand shifts to the front this time, making a stop sign with the fingers. Right palm comes and scoops the fingers back towards the face, gently stretching the arm and the wrist. Check in with the shoulders, make sure they're back and down. Gently release the fingers down towards the mat, pressing into the back of the hand, drawing the fingers and palm towards the body. Release both hands, rolling out the wrists. We're going to set the palms back and down, windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And next time at the top, we're just going to shift the weight back, extending the legs forward, taking a second to get organized, really grounding down through the hip bones, straightening up through the spine, maybe adding a little bend to the knees, giving your low back a chance to really lengthen out, drawing the toes towards the nose, really flexing those feet, engaging the legs, straighten through the back. And then we're going to draw our left knee into the chest. We get a nice good squeeze, drawing belly to thigh, keeping those right toes flexed towards our nose. And then we're going to open up that left thigh, allowing the left knee to sink down to the mat. If you have a block, feel free to prop that knee up. We're going to take a second here to just get organized, really just lengthening. And if you need more, maybe bring the hands to opposite sides of the legs. Really just focusing on the back of that right leg, keeping those toes drawn towards the nose. We're going to be here for 10 more breaths. Gently shifting the spine back up if you were sunk forward. Drawing the left knee back into the chest, giving it a nice good squeeze, straightening out that back. And then extend that left leg long. And then draw the right knee into the chest. Take a second, get organized on this side. Check in with the toes. Engage that left leg. And then when you're ready, allow that right hip to sink open. You can reach for the right ankle to help leverage the body and the chest forward. You can also keep a micro bend in that left knee if things are tight. And when you find a spot you're comfortable in, settle in for 10 breaths. Halfway there, maybe sinking in a little bit deeper. Gently rolling the spine back up if you are down, releasing the right leg to meet the left, sinking the weight back onto the palms. Draw the knees up, windshield wiper from side to side. And then your next time back up, we're going to sink the feet out in front of us, taking a diamond pose here. So we can make this posture as dramatic as we'd like. So you can take a diamond or a butterfly variation, whatever feels best for your body tonight. And once you find a depth that you're comfortable with, taking a second, lengthen out through the spine, and just maybe beginning to shift the weight forward, finding your tipping point, and then sinking into the posture. Taking this hold a little bit more passively, allowing the hips and the legs to gently open. Slowly sinking in with each breath. Ten more breaths here, focusing on the intention. Gently beginning to roll the spine back up if you were down. Drawing the knees in towards the chest, giving them a nice good squeeze. And then setting the knees down to the side. We're going to transition to our tabletop. So taking a second to get organized, we're going to stack our wrists under our shoulders, our knees under our hips. And we're just going to take a few cat-cows to just neutralize the body. So inhale, drop the belly, shine the heart, cow pose. Exhale, round it out, press the earth away, cat. 2 more, inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Last round, inhaling, dropping the belly, cow pose. Exhale, rounding it out, cat. And then from here, we're just going to shift down onto our bellies, preparing for Sphinx pose. So taking a second to get organized, reaching for the biceps to space the arms apart, and then extending the arms forward, spreading the palms, actively pressing into the mat. Check the feet, make sure they're hip distance or maybe a little bit wider. You can rock the tailbone from side to side to loosen up the low back. And then inhale, we're just going to gently press down through the forearms into the mat, lifting the chest, really expanding through the collarbones all the way up. And you can stay here in an active Sphinx, or you can gently drop the head and sink into the shoulders, taking a more gentle variation of this back bend. Whatever feels best for your body. We're going to hold this one for quite a few breaths. So find something that suits you tonight. Ten more breaths, softening the vertebrae, expanding the spine. Check in with the space between the eyebrows, releasing any tension you're holding there, making sure you're not clenching the jaw. Wherever you are, press into the mat, lift the torso back up, and then we're going to cross left arm in front of right, preparing for a happy shoulders or shoelace pose. From here, we're just going to inch the arms out in opposite directions. You can use the toes to shift the weight forward slightly, and then settle in. You can shift the chin onto the left bicep, you have a block, you can place it underneath the forehead to bring the earth a little closer. But just settling into the space between the shoulder blades. Coming back to the breath, even when it's challenging. Five more breaths. You're doing good. Gently beginning to lift the head and torso, slowly dragging one arm at a time back to center, coming back to our Sphinx pose for 3 breaths, actively pressing down into the mat, lifting up and out of those shoulders. And then right arm on top of left this time, crawling the arms out in opposite directions. Maybe using the toes to shift the weight forward slightly if that feels good. And then sinking into the space between the shoulders. And coming back to the breath, being very meaningful in our inhales and our exhales. 5 more breaths here. You're doing good. Gently unravel the arms, lifting the torso, setting back into that Sphinx for a few breaths, really actively pressing your way out of the shoulders, broadening through the collarbones. Then from here, I'm going to press up onto the hands, coming back to our tabletop. And then we're just going to sink back into a child's pose. So big toes kiss, knees apart, arms extend out front, gently dropping the chest down to the mat. Maybe the forehead reaches the mat. Maybe use a block to bring the mat a little closer. And taking these next few breaths in child's pose to come back to the intention to take inventory of the body. Five more breaths here. Gently rocking the weight back up onto the hands, shifting the knees under the hips, spinning the feet out to the side and taking a seat back down. We're going to set up for figure 4 posture now. So tucking the hips underneath and sinking the back body onto the mat. Take a second to press down through the feet, lift the hips up, tuck the tailbone up and under, and then set the low back onto the mat, really grounding down all the way through the tailbone. And then heels towards the hips, pressing the feet into the mat. Draw the right knee into the chest, giving it a nice good squeeze. And then right ankle meets left thigh, setting up for our figure 4. Taking a few breaths to take stock of this side, seeing how you can best serve your body in this posture. Maybe if you need a little bit more, reaching the hands back and around that left thigh, drawing it in a little bit closer to leverage open that right hip. Wherever you are, just committing to keeping your full back body on the mat from the head to the tailbone. Maybe letting go of that wrap if that's not suiting you. And then we're going to be here for 20 breaths. You're about halfway there. Just staying where you are and maybe going a little bit deeper if that feels good. Respecting your body and its boundaries. Wherever you are, gently unravel the legs, setting the feet mat distance, and then windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And then drawing the heels towards the hips, pressing the feet down into the mat, preparing for the posture on the other side. We're going to draw the left knee into the chest this time. We get a nice good squeeze. And then left ankle meets right thigh, figure four. And take a few breaths to explore the side of the body. We're not completely symmetrical, so our postures won't look identical on each side, but we can do our best to recreate. This is going to be in longer hold as well. So starting at about 50% of your depth, trying easy instead of trying hard, knowing that our hips hold so much and will be a lifelong process to soften. You're about halfway there, maybe wrapping around if that feels good. Maybe just staying where you are, committing to keeping your full spine glued to the mat. Gently beginning to unravel the legs, maybe spreading the arms open wide, palms facing up, and then tick-tocking the knees from side to side. Your next time at center, pause. We're going to take a spinal twist here. So if you have one in your practice that you would like to take, feel free to take it now. If not, I'll be guiding you through a basic one. So before we get started, we're going to scoop those shoulder blades back and down, and then pressing into the feet, lift the hips, scoop the tailbone under, and set the low back onto the mat. From here, we're going to draw the knees into the chest, and then gently sink the knees over to the left. Doing your best to keep those shoulders glued down to the mat. If you have a block, you can place it underneath the knees to bring the earth a little closer. Or if you need a little more, maybe crossing at the ankles. Wherever you are, focusing on drawing the inhales all the way down to the tip of the tailbone. Allow the exhales to travel all the way back up to the neck. Knowing that when our breath may be a bit more difficult, means we maybe need it just a little bit more. Five more breaths. You're doing good. Engaging the core before we lift, belly button in towards the spine, ground down through the shoulders, and then shift the knees back up to center. Set the feet down, mat distance. Scoop that tailbone back up and under, and then allow the thighs to meet in the center. Press the palms into the tops of the thighs, using the deep core muscles to ground down through the low back and neutralize. And then taking our twist in the opposite direction this time, we're going to expand the arms onto the mat, opening the chest and the front body, and then drawing the knees into the chest. We're going to sink the knees over to the right this time. Do your best to keep the shoulders glued onto the mat. Focusing on the inhales and exhales. Five more breaths. You're doing good. Gently belly button in towards spine. Shift the legs back up to center. Place the feet mat distance. Scoop the tailbone up and under. Gently set the back down onto the mat. Allow the thighs to meet. Press the palms into the tops of the thighs. Really ground down through the low back. And then drawing bent knees, we're going to take a sleeping tiger. So stacking our heels over our hips. You can keep the knees as bent as you need to. And then extending the arms up towards the sky, allowing the wrists to soften and the hands to gently curl inwards. Slowly beginning to set the legs and arms down onto the mat. We're going to prepare for Shavasana. So extending the legs long, the feet hip distance or wider, setting the palms down, maybe facing them up. Letting go of the awareness of the breath, sinking into the body, relaxing the mind, soaking in all the benefits of your practice. I'll guide you back when it's time. Gently inhaling, filling the chest and the belly. Exhale, soften the belly, soften the chest. Wiggling the fingers and the toes, gently inviting movement back into the body. Maybe drawing a deep inhale and extending the arms long overhead. Good morning stretch. Curling on to one side of the body, taking a fetal posture. So once again, transitioning from our corpse to our fetal, signifying a new start, a fresh beginning. Joining me in a comfortable seat. When you're ready, we're going to close the practice out. The head gently bowed and the hands at heart center. Just telling yourself thank you for showing up and for committing to your breath. The light in me honors and supports the light in you. Namaste. You're welcome. You did awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too. Namaste.
Namaste. Bye, Yvonne. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome.